Welcome everyone. G'day. I think we can get started. So we've got a good presentation for you today around some of the new features that have been added to 6 Clicks. We've got Saurabh here, our head of product, who's going to be taking you through continuous control monitoring, which we've been furiously working on past month or so, and should be ready for prime time as of next week. This is a huge new addition to our controls module, and we're very proud of it. So looking forward to that. Then he'll also be taking you through the new feature we have for sending assessments from a hub to the spokes. And then it's a rare occasion when Greg won't be talking about AI. He'll be talking about the new integration mechanisms that we've added to the platform with the developer API, and that API now powers our Power BI connector, or you could use Tableau and other BI tools. So he's going to be taking you through that, and then I'll finish the proceedings with an overview of what's coming up next. If you haven't met these guys before, sorry, Saurabh has been with us a long time, and he focuses on the core GRC components of the platform. And Greg is in charge of all things AI and also dabbles in the integration side. So yeah, looking forward to taking you all through this. At any time, feel free to post questions in the channel, and we should have some time at the end for Q&A. And thanks for Elaine for hosting us. Elaine will be taking care of coordinating your questions. Okay, over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Just a quick confirmation, we can see my screen.
Right. I've got you, Saurabh. Yep.
Cool. Sounds good. So thank you, Andrew. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. And today I'll perform a walkthrough on 2 product capabilities, continuous control monitoring, or CCM in short, and sending assessments from hub to spokes. Right. I'm very excited to introduce the 6 Clicks CCM capability, which is part of our overall control testing solution. The product now integrates with different cloud security posture management tools, such as, or CSPM, we call CSPM in short, such as Wiz, and is able to monitor controls automatically. Right. So let's go straight into the product. So what I have here is a team where I've already enabled Wiz. So Wiz is a, as we have discussed, it's a CSPM tool. And there are other CSPM tools as well, like Azure Defender for Cloud and AWS, which we'll be integrating very soon. For the purpose of this demonstration, we have integrated with Wiz in this particular team, which means that our controls can now be automatically monitored via Wiz. As we enter into our controls module, I'll open the IT operations security control set, which has a bunch of controls, as you'll see in a minute. So now, as this loads, right? So this is what can be achieved using the 6 Clicks control management solution. So what we see here is an almost fully configured control set. It has around 10 controls, and with a mix of manual and automated tests associated to them, right? So here, quickly I can understand, okay, this is something, this is a control which is connected to manual test versus there are a few others which are connected to automated, right? And as I've entered into this control set, the insights on the right-hand side gives a crisp understanding of how my controls are performing in real time, like at this point in time, are they audit ready or not, or are all my controls being tested? So, and from here, I can focus on certain things. Let's say I could focus on getting my test coverage to 100%, or maybe focus on the controls with which have all the tests failed, and then go into controls which have a mix of tests that have either passed or failed or have some errors scenarios. So from here, I can focus on getting them resolved, and the goal can be to get as much green as possible. Now, I want to quickly share how I've organized this particular control set. So here I've linked my tests with responsibilities. So let's say if I go into a particular control here, standard operating procedures, this is something which I'm testing manually because not everything can be automated. And here I've created a test to ensure that the standard operating procedures are adhered to. And this is something which I am testing every 1 year, right? So I've created a responsibility which is recurring for 1 year, and this is associated with the test. And what I can do here is, while the control set is in published mode, I can have a quick look into the tasks that have been performed as part of that responsibility. And based on that, look at the evidence right here, go through the comments, look at what has been completed in the past year, and then based on that, make a decision of whether I should pass this test or fail, right? So that can be done directly from here. In case of, so that's a quick example on one of my controls, which is currently being manually tested. Another example I'll use is something that can be partially automated. So in this particular case, anti-malware controls. Here I have created 2 tests and associated that with the control, and one of them I've integrated with Wiz. So this shows that this is a automated control. And what I'm really doing here is using my Wiz CSPM integration, I'm testing the scope of my Wiz setup for anti-malware controls, right? So how the integration works is that we poll every 24 hours, and if there are issues reported by Wiz, we log them here, we fail the test result. And if there are no issues reported by Wiz, like in this particular case, so we mentioned that the result has passed and there are no tests, no issues reported by Wiz. And on the anti-malware control itself, my another test is about workstations, which is something that I test manually. And here what I've done is I've associated a review responsibility or task, which is recurring every 3 months, to look at how my workstation's anti-malware control is being performed, or collecting the evidence, so I can see comments as we just discussed and look at all the evidences attached. Now, what I can also do is create some other types of responsibilities which are non-recurring in nature, like documentational tasks or implementation tasks, like let's say application white testing, which would be something done once, and see all of them here, look at how this has been completed, is there any comment logged or not. So all that is available for me to look at. Yeah, and quickly I'll show one example of a Wiz or automated test that has failed. So here, as I've created two tests with security event management. So what I'm doing is I'm testing the logging event management by Wiz, and it has returned a failure this morning, right? So when I go into this test, it tells me details about when this was logged and what were the issues reported by Wiz. So we provide a summary description of how many issues and what the issue description is, and then a way for user to get into Wiz directly and resolve them and get them sorted. Yeah, that's it on the CCM side. So to conclude the CCM part of the product demonstration, you'll be able to configure control testing for your controls and leverage the CSPM integrations Wiz at the moment. And as we speak, we are working towards getting Azure Defender for Cloud, AWS, and Google Cloud Monitoring integrations into our product. So with this, let's move to our next product capability, which is sending assessments from Hub. And for this, I'm using my Hub environment. So here I'm in a hub environment, and when I go into audits and assessment, the product initially and has been supporting a way for admins to push assessment templates down to spokes, which is still here. But what that meant was when an admin is managing, let's say, multiple spokes, they have to enter into each one of them and send the assessments to the respondents of that spoke one by one. And what we have done is taken an opportunity to really improve that experience, make it super efficient. And so what we have done is we have brought that whole task at the hub level, so that from one screen or from one page, all that can be done. So here, so let me help to locate. So here on the audit and assessments area, you can see send assessment button. And 3-step process, I'll choose the assessment template which I want to send. So let's say in this case, I'll send 2022. So this is the assessment I want to send to multiple respondents across different spokes. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. I'll set a due date. Now here, I'll select the spokes where I want to send, right? So for the purpose of demonstration, I can just pick 2 of them. Users can use the filters to send it to 5, 6, 10, how many ever from just one place here. So I've selected 2 of them. And so on this screen, what we are doing really cool is like we are bringing all the respondents from each of those spokes up to the hub level, so that the admin has the capability to choose who do they want to send this assessment to. So for this purpose, I'll here just send it to 2 people. And for the other spoke, I'll maybe send it to some other members. And here I can add new users as well if I want to. And those would be added as part of the spoke. That's it. So I'm sending it to 2 members. So maybe let's say I'll just add 3rd one as well, just so that we can check it later. And that's it. So this would, in the background, what's happening is it's, getting the content down to spokes, creating the assessment, assigning respondents, and pushing it over. So let's go into one of the spokes and have a look. So I'll go into this ANZ spoke here. And I chose 3 respondents to be sent this assessment to. So as you can see, a new assessment has been created, and this is for ISO 2022, the one that was just sent, and I can see that all the 3 respondents have been added to this. So now just wait and relax, wait for these assessments to be sent, the responses to be sent, and then the workflows can continue from there. Yeah, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for listening. And with this, I'll pass it over to Greg for taking us through 2 other product capabilities. Thank you.
Thanks, Saurabh. Hello, everyone. So one of the first things I just wanted to share was how far we've come with the integration side of 6Clicks. At the beginning of this year, for those who are familiar with the platform, this was quite a bare part of the system. We had a couple of areas where we were integrating, but as you could see from Saurabh's screen and mine as we go through, that this has really been a huge focus in 2024 and continues to be. That we are becoming far more connected with different systems. So with that, I'm going to go through 2 of the items in our integration menu today. both the developer API and the Power BI connector, which are highly related to each other. Now, apologies, I'm coming off a cold, so I'm going to do my best to not have a coughing fit and try and keep my words to a minimum here, but good luck to me with that. In terms of the developer API, we've had this for a little while. If you've been following sort of our market announcements, however, we continue to iterate the capabilities in here. And when we say that, it's largely around extending the catalog of API endpoints. So we have a release coming out either tonight or tomorrow, sort of this week, which is the set that I've got on the screen here. And we've now introduced a lot more read and write operations with this release. So as I just sort of scroll through, you can see that we've got good coverage across all of our main modules here. And also we have, actual create and update calls in the API set as well. And I know that a number of customers have reached out with various solutions they're looking to build. So obviously the developer API is supporting more engineering focused customers who, may have a capability or a partner they work with who will connect their systems with 6-clicks, while we are also building, more native connectors from our side back out to platforms as well. And some of the common use cases may be automation around third-party risk management, where, we can be onboarding vendors and third parties into the system, managing them through 6-clicks, and then sending back into another business system the results and the approval perhaps of a vendor who has been assessed by the 6-clicks platform. And countless other areas. For example, the registers can be maintained in 6-clicks. We can take inputs from external systems, have stuff managed in 6-clicks, and then again, those internal systems or the external systems can come along and take the results and continue down the sort of workflow that they're intended to provide. So we're all about, I guess, the best of breed systems sort of staying in their lanes. We are the experts in, risk and compliance in cyber. All the parts that we excel at, we can sort of take ownership and manage those items, but we can do it as part of a broader ecosystem that's well integrated with other business systems. So that's the developer API. The way that this interacts with Power BI is that Power BI directly exposes a lot of the read operations from the developer API. So our headline modules like issues or risks or controls are surfaced into the Power BI system, and they're available then for those familiar with it to be mashed in with other data sets. You can bring in all sorts of third-party information, internal information into Power BI and take your 6-clicks data as well. The way that it is set up is via a connector, which I won't go through the full setup here, but we do have a full knowledge base article to help you get set up. But in our system, you can use Power BI Desktop. There's a link there to the Microsoft Store. You can use your own implementation, however you get access to Power BI. There is a connector itself, which is a plugin that you install in, and that will then open up access into 6-clicks. And then once you have your data available in Power BI, we are actually building out some dashboards here that I'll just quickly showcase as a starting place. So I'm not sure if there's some bars popping up here on screen. I'll do my best to take them out of the way. So Zerab, our sort of analytics specialist internally here, he's been taking the latest Power BI data that we have available and producing a series of example dashboards to kick off, I guess, the visualization journey of the GRC data sitting in 6-clicks. So these are obviously all very interactive and able to be drilled into and give you a really great starting place for your data visualization journey with the 6clicks data. So we will have these available to the customers as soon as they're ready. We'll definitely be putting out news. There'll be links off the website, and you'll see pop-ups, no doubt, around the announcements. And to some level, these are available already. So if you want to reach out via your rep, I'm sure we can provide some early access to certain parts of this as well. But the idea is that across, again, our major modules of risks and issues and third parties, countless other areas, we'll have an example fully featured dashboard available with all of, I guess, the headline visualizations ready to go. And then depending on your skill sets, your availability of analytics team members in your organization, then you can take those and extend them further and incorporate any of the business data that you've got sitting in other systems as well. So that's Power BI. That's where we're at. We are, like I said, building out more and more of these, and we'll make these available. The developer API again has got an imminent release with some more information and more data available continuously. We continue to increase this, and even as Saurabh just presented, we've already got the CCM capabilities being built out into there as well. So that just further extends the opportunities we've got to linking those enhancements to controls all the way into the system and ready to go from an API perspective as well. So I'm going to leave it there, pass it back to Andrew, and we can run through a bit of Q&A. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. And before we go to Q&A, actually, there are a lot of questions coming through. So maybe before I show you what's coming up next, let's just answer some of these questions. Looks like a lot of people are excited as us about the CCM, which is great. So just to quickly run through some of the questions and answers that are coming through. So firstly, this will be the CCM capability will be enabled for everyone. So you'll be able to jump in and start configuring that from day one. Yes, we do have a big roadmap of additional integrations that we'll be planning. The early ones will be a direct integration with Microsoft Defender and AWS. And then we'll also be looking at Lacework, and then beyond that, many other systems. I imagine that if we look back at this in 2025, we should have quite a wide range of integrations with our CCM module. And a question here about the developer API. Yes, it does support mutual TLS certificates. So that was very important for us because of obviously the nature of the data that we're sharing here. Maybe let's run through a couple of the other questions before I move on to the roadmap. Can a control set task be assigned a planned rating with a scheduled date, not just pass or fail? Saurabh, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, so here the control set task being the responsibility that we have in the system can be assigned a planned rating with a schedule. So we can have a scheduled due date on the responsibility, but we do not support any outcome ratings or such ratings at the moment. This is something that we are considering for a future roadmap, where we'd like to introduce responsibility outcomes or a way to set a result on a particular responsibility. At the moment, no, but something that we are looking forward in future.
Thanks, Saurabh. Okay, so I'll get back to the roadmap here. Just confirming you can see my screen.
Yes, Andrew.
Okay, so These are all things that we are actively working on right now. So we expect they'll be hitting the decks in that sort of September, October timeframe. First up, we have one of our most requested features. We'll be addressing it. So giving you the ability to customize emails in a number of ways. Firstly, so we actually have soft launched the ability to configure your own email address to send the emails. If that's of interest to you, you have to send a request to support. We are working on making that more accessible by putting it into the administration section. We're giving you the ability to customize the reminder cadences for tasks that are due, issue actions, etc., so that you can customize the reminders to your preference, and also have overdue emails sent out. We will be considering escalations. I don't know if it will be in the initial release, which would be the ability to like escalate a task or to someone else. But we will be setting ourselves up to do that in the future. Of course, the ability to customize the email templates if you want to add your own messaging to the emails, and in general be looking through all of our existing default email content and improving that. We know that we do get a lot of feedback around the emails not having enough information or not presenting it clearly enough. So we'll be doing a full assessment of all of our emails and making sure that they're as good as possible. Saurabh and his team has started looking at introducing custom workflow for issues and incidents. If you're familiar with the risk system and the custom workflow that we have there, it'll be similar to that. And we'll also be looking at being able to vary the custom fields by the type of issue or incident. In the AI space, so we launched Haley Assist a couple of months ago now, and it just goes to show how quickly the technology is moving there, because just within that couple of months, we now have a much better model that we're using, which we released a few weeks ago, and things are still moving very fast there. We're actually just taking a pause on Haley Assist though, just to let it marinate, and we'll be actually revisiting one of the original pieces of AI within 6 Clicks, which is the compliance mapping. And we'll be bringing that up to date with the latest bleeding edge AI capabilities that we now have. So we expect some good improvements there. And we'll also be looking at some more generation capabilities, for example, generating risks or issues from assessments. And also bringing more powerful search across the platform. So these are all the types of things you can expect from the Haley space. Another one that Saurabh's actively working on is the ability for to build hierarchical risk taxonomies. We'll be achieving that through linking of risks together in a parent-child relationship. So we have actually kind of supported this through the risk domain feature. You've been able to build a 3-layer risk taxonomy, but this will be much more powerful because we'll be able to create an n-layer hierarchy, and the risks themselves hold a lot more detail than the domains do. And finally, a piece of feedback that we often get is that customers want to be able to create their own dashboards for that homepage that comes up. So we're going to be looking at giving you that ability by embedding your preferred reporting platform, whether that's a Yellowfin report or whether it's an external BI provider like Power BI, Tableau. You'll be able to embed those reports into the homepage dashboard that's shown on 6 Clicks. All right, I'll stop sharing and let's see if there's any more questions that have come through. Got one here around document tracking control from Charles. Does 6 Clicks have any plan to offer document tracking control, such as specific certificates, contracts, etc.? We don't actually have that on the near-term roadmap. It does come up from from time to time. Perhaps Charles, if you would like to chat further about that, feel free to send Heather an email or via our Neura roadmap, roadmap.sixclicks.io, and yeah, we can certainly talk more about what you're looking for there. Shannon, thanks. Did I hear you say the Power BI dashboards you've worked on are available for early access? Interested. Yep, we can get in touch, Shannon. Definitely we can talk to you about that. Again, send support an email and they can hook you up with our data person, Zera. Nicole says, it would be great if we could instruct Haley to run reports based on fields. Yes. So this, I think, will be on that sort of 2025 timeframe, is the ability to do more advanced reporting or initiate actions, get Haley to actually carry out actions, that sort of thing. We did work on that this year, and to tell the truth, you know, AI we felt was just not quite there yet to be able to do that. But like I said, things are moving very rapidly in this space, and I suspect we'll be looking at that in 2025. It certainly would be very powerful. And look, we're starting to see that demos of that from the likes of Google and Microsoft, but it's very much, you know, early stages for that sort of type of technology. And you know, it's certainly something you can do with ChatGPT or something like that. But for us, we have, you know, specific requirements, particularly around security and your data tenancy, etc., that we have to also be mindful of, and just the general accuracy. I don't know if you want to add any more color to that, Greg.
Apologies. Yeah, it's probably a fraction early to sort of put too many commitments on that front. So I think you've sort of covered it largely how we're thinking. But I think you raised a good point before around our roadmap and feature submission. We do really appreciate hearing those sort of customer demand stories, and certainly encourage people to submit those sort of feedback, because it really does help sort of quantify the demand for things. There's so many great ideas out of our customer base. So whether that's, you know, via support or via the roadmap, if you just Google 6clicks, you know, roadmap, I think you'll find the link there anyway. You can submit that stuff, and we'll certainly use that as an indicator of where we're getting demand, and specifically which areas.
Thanks, Greg. We've got one more question here, which Saurabh, I can see you're looking at. Thanks for the demonstration of sending assessments from Hub to selected spokes. Can the Hub see the results of assessments without logging in to each spoke individually? Do you want to comment on that, Saurabh?
Yeah, I was about to type a response to that. So at the moment, we only show the indication whether a particular response has been submitted or not. So at the Hub level, if we enter into that assessment template, and there's an activity subtab where you can see to all the spokes that assessment was sent to, what is the current state, whether it has been submitted, in progress, and what it is. So that's what we do at the moment. We do not fetch the results from spokes at the Hub level, but we have a way for users to directly go in. So we have a button, CTA there, click, and then that takes you directly into that assessment, and then you can see the results directly there. So to answer your question, not at the Hub level, but we have a way to take you quickly there.
Okay, thanks, Saurabh, and thanks for everyone attending. I think that brings us almost to time. If anyone's got one more question, might be able to field it. Otherwise, yeah, appreciate your attendance, and if you'd like to continue this conversation, feel free to reach out to your reps, or yeah, you can visit roadmap.sixclicks.com and leave us some messages there. We do read them, and we do really appreciate them. So yeah, other than that, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.